Our March Brooklyn DD Council Meaningful Day in Employment Services Committee meeting. As I just said, we're going to talk about Community Hub and Day Hub services today. Just a very, very short, quick, brief announcement on my end. I announced to my co-chairs today, those who were available, that I am going to be leaving, transitioning out from AHRC, New York City. And I will be joining the team over at New Spark PDS, which is still in Brooklyn. I am not leaving the Brooklyn DD Council. I will still be a committee chair member, but you will see me in a different capacity in the community starting in April. So this will be my last few
Wow.
weeks here at HRC. Those of you who have known me, obviously I've worked at HRC for many, many years. So it's a good thing, it's a happy thing, but it's also, bittersweet and it's a change. But I'm not leaving. So you'll just see me with a different background and a different logo, basically. Will not see, you just won't see me in my Brooklyn office in downtown. You'll see me in my other Brooklyn office in Industry City. So that's the main difference. Um, and that's it for that updates. Does my other co-chairs have any other updates?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Um, Thank you for the reactions, Chris, but I'll be fine. Don't worry. Um, okay. Yes, I'm leaving. I know it's been a journey, but I'm just moving over. I'm just
Okay.
moving over. Yes, but I am leaving HRC. So, there's the news. We do have a very quick presentation I put together about Community Hub and Day Hub. I want to hopefully see if more people join the chats. I would love it if we could get a couple more parents and families. So I'm gonna maybe give it like 5 minutes um, before we do that. So maybe open the floor for just general community stuff. Laura and Carrie, I know you guys always have stuff. So please put them in the chat, share about it now, so it'll be on the recording. Go ahead.
Thank you, Pilar. This is Carrie. Um, so uh, we have a really exciting event next month at the Jamaica Bay Library. I've already put it in chat. It's called Smash the Stigma, and we're working with the Daffodil Project, and they're installing um, an art installation, a gallery in the library, and the idea is smash the stigma around mental health. There would be a reception when from 6 to 7 on April 14th. Everybody's welcome. Food is free. It's on the way. We received it here and I sent it off to Jamaica Bay. And it focuses on teen mental health. And of course, that includes people with dual diagnoses or people who just want to support the community of teens with mental health issues. So that's a really exciting event. Otherwise, we have some other exciting events, but there are normal exciting events. So, including a
Very cool.
developmental disability fair on April 10th. That school is out that day, so we will have activity for kids and teens, and that's at the Windsor Terrace Library, and I will put that in chat momentarily.
Awesome. Do
Oh,
you
it
guys
looks
have
like
a
Chris.
flyer for the Smash the Stigma event? If you could share that later,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I don't. Laura, can you share the flyer in the publicity
Yeah,
folder?
in the chat here or send it to Pilar, or I can do both.
Both is fine.
Okay, cool.
Thanks. Go ahead, Chris. You don't need to raise your hand. It's
I'm
just us.
used, it's a habit. I'm used to doing that.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, as Carrie, I do thank Carrie because as the advisory council, we are doing our development disability resource fair. We do have the two dates, and we will be announcing July 1. That's actually where Laura's
Tobacco.
gonna, yeah. So we will be letting everyone know. So stay tuned for that. The other thing that I'm switching my hat on is my ADA transportation as president. I am doing a public meeting coming up on the 24th in the evening, which I will have sanitation and DOT. Edmund will be joining with me. Edmund will be joining me exactly at 6 o'clock. So we do encourage people to please attend, or please put your comments. If you cannot be there, please put your complaints by email, which is actually attached to the leaflet here. But I will remind everyone to please, it's because we know that there are some issues, not just with we just had in the beginning of the month, but we also got to make sure that sanitation is aware of garbage blocking, bus stops, curb cuts, and it's really hard for wheelchairs and walkers or any person with mobile device. So we do need to see how can we work with sanitation with a lot of new programs they're doing. And DOT's been doing a lot of new things as well. So again, it will be this month, the 24th, next Tuesday, and it will be at 6 p.m. on the Ring Central. So please just click on it or just automatically QR code, and there you go. And just just to say one thing about PR, we're still gonna miss you, but I still like to be sad because you were really good in HRC. And not just me saying this, but Debbie heard it and she told me to say the same thing. You were really good. And I'm saying this because even what I'm hearing from families, and I told parents, Debbie and I had mentioned today at the meeting to please attend this meeting. If you don't, both of us, since our last name is Gripe, we're going to cause grief and tell them we don't want to hear excuses. It's on Zoom. If I can get on the meeting from my phone, I could. But I just want to be clear that I am really honored to hear the families happy to see this committee. So
Thank you.
I'm speaking as an individual, but also as the corresponding secretary for the advisory and as an advocate for disability. Thank you. And I hope the new job treats you right, because if they don't, I'm watching them.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
No, not a
yeah.
problem. And I will put the advisory council's website email onto the chat as well in just a second.
Okay. Yes. Once my contact info is all updated, my new email address, all that stuff, I'll make sure you to send out something, from the committees speaking. And then I see Pat put something in the chat. Pat, go ahead. If you want to speak, you can go ahead. I'm
Good
gonna
morning. Good morning.
Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. It's not usual. The meeting usually is in the morning with a whole day meeting. But yeah, it's good to see everyone here. GHO has opening for our site-based day hub. Day hubs are located in Sunset Park area, and we provide transportation and a hot lunch. So if individual needed, please reach out. And we also have family support, case management to assist family who are new to the system, seeking OPWD eligibility, or want to explore what's out there. And eventually we can guide them into get the right appropriate CCO to join and get a waiver service. So, and my contact information is there, and we do have capacity to serve family speak in Korean or Chinese. So please reach out. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Alrighty, guys, just about 4:50. So let's go into the presentation. Out of respect for everyone's time. I did see, I think, a couple parents joined, so that's great. Welcome, parents. We're gonna start our presentation. Let me just switch gears. And I'm going to ask that Ms. Jahida join, and maybe we just alternate slides.
You got it.
Okay, where am I now? Okay. All right, we see the slideshow, everyone? Yes, okay, great. So we're gonna have an introduction, very brief. We're not gonna go over all the specifics into community and facility-based habilitation services. Our focus today is day habilitation and community habilitation. Next. So quick refresher, right? Everything that we talk about typically on the DD Council meetings and committee chair meetings, all those things are in relation to OPWDD waiver services. Sometimes they're different types of services and other things that we're talking about, but for the purpose of today's call, we wanted to give a quick reminder that the home and community-based waiver is a Medicaid-funded program. It provides services to adults and children with developmental disabilities in their home or in the community. So we wanted to remind everyone that in order to participate in services like day habilitation, community habilitation, these are waiver services, and you must be eligible to receive OPWDD services. The first step to, determining or receiving the service, I'm sorry, is to determine eligibility. After receiving eligibility, there is a planning process, and you can identify which services you are interested in, whether it be community hab to live independently in your home, employment, day habilitation, residential supports. There's all types of services that are covered under the home and community-based waiver. The care managers are the key person who are set up and supposed to coordinate the services, find the services, make referrals to the programs and services, submit for approval to the services to OPWDD, and assist people to maintain their Medicaid so that they can maintain their waiver services. I know there's a lot of buzz going around that care managers do not help people maintain their Medicaid. That is not the case. Care managers should be assisting people to recertify for their Medicaid services because it is a Medicaid waiver service. Okay, moving right along. So we're going to get into day habilitation. Day hab is offered in a variety of environments to best support a person's preferences. This can include structured on-site programming, community-based programming, or a combination of the two. Each person is offered an array of opportunities and experiences based on their choices, interests, and talents. All services and supports are designed to enrich people's lives as they build relationships and participate in local communities. There are several agencies, organizations throughout Brooklyn, throughout New York City that offer day habilitation services. Main thing I feel like I didn't mention right here in the main slide is that day hab is a group service. It's a group-based service. Um, Allowable day hab services. So these are what we call the billables, right? What we can get paid for, what the providers can bill for the service. But for families, that might not really, mean anything, right? But we want you guys to know what's an allowable activity, what's an allowable service. So skill development, activities designed to improve self-help, social communication, social skills, travel skills, community integration, exploring community resources, participating in other recreational and educational activities as a group, right? More importantly, as a group, vocational supports, pre-vocational training, job exploration, site-based activities. This can also be in the community, which is art, computer training, sensory activities, social skill building can also happen in a facility or off in the community setting. Transportation, transportation between activities during program day, not to and from home. We're going to get into transportation separately, but it's allowable service for us to provide. And then clinical support integration, meaning that we are supposed to foster and support someone else's occupational therapy, speech therapy, ABA, whatever the person is receiving, meaning we don't provide those service, but if the person is receiving speech or OT, day hab staff should also be aware of what those goals are so that they can also be modeled and practiced in day hab settings. Any questions so far? Take that as a no. Shahida, you want to go next?
Sure, you got it. So, the difference between site-based and without walls, um, there. So while all day habilitation focuses on structured activities and provides services, it's, in reality, site-based and without walls is just based on the OPWDD licensure and the certificate of occupancy. Site-based programs accommodate individuals who require a little bit of a higher level of medical needs or behavioral supports or compared to someone who is fully without walls. But both programs still have the requirement and the mandate to engage in community activities, volunteer, pre-vocational skills, all those type of things are still mandated for both programs. It's a funding mechanism in a way that
Mhm.
we sort people. Without Walls services, our community-based activities occur entirely in the community rather than a fixed site. So, both locations, you could help on money management, but a Without Walls program, you're going to have a higher rate of learning money management while hanging out at the bank or hanging out at the corner bodega. But still, both programs, you will learn money management in real life situations, whereas site-based will give you the opportunity to also learn money management, let's say in a more controlled environment with fake money, and you're able to build upon those skills. While site-based programs occur at a dedicated location, they may still include a great deal of community inclusion. You'll see that from the presenters that are here today.
I'm sorry,
Um,
these two bullet points is the same thing phrased multiple ways.
yeah,
So
it's
please
okay.
pardon my brain, okay, guys? Just
It's okay. Um, Typically, the approval for each service is based on the person's level of support and and how your front door process pretty much goes through, and your CAS assessment
right.
dictate a great deal of what service you are approved for. Depending on your approval, also, if you are approved for site-based, but you want your child in Without Walls because you feel that matches their other services that you're building around them, you can have a conversation with OPW. The same thing with if you are approved Without Walls, but you know what, your kid's going to need a little bit more support and more practice in more of a, not a secure location, but more of a controlled environment, then you could also make that appeal process along with your care manager. So it's not one and done. It is a conversation.
It's also important to, look at different organizations, right? What Jahida's group might do at SUS is different than what happens at AHRC day programs. And you'll see that we're going to talk a little bit about some of our other providers are on the call here, and they're going to talk about what they do at their specific organizations. But that's also important. The programming style and how, organizations run it is their choice, right? So not every day have is one size fits all. Okay. What's not included in Dayhab, Jahida? You're muted.
Unmute. Sorry.
Just
Um,
checking.
So what's not included in Dayhab? You know what? Medical treatments. We're not a medical model of disability. We are definitely a social model of disability. So while some programs do offer nursing supports and some intensive therapeutic ongoing care, um we're not going to be the place where we're going to do medical appointments and dental appointments. Like, that's not going to happen in Dayhab. Paid employment and sheltered workshops. Dayhab do not do this guy while we focus on skill building. We're not production work. We're not competitive employment. We work on pre-vocational and soft skill development so that you can get ready for the workforce and exposure to different career paths, and things along that nature. Individual staffing. While a lot of programs do offer one-to-one, and there are many agencies that do work with parents and families to provide those high intensive needs, um, it is not a given that one-to-one is provided in rehabilitation. There is an entire authorization process that needs to happen. Educational services. They have cannot happen, even if it's Without Walls, while your child is under the age of 21 and currently entitled legally for education services, right? I always like to tell my program directors Medicaid is the payer of last resort. So if the DOE is supposed to be paying for your child's education, they should be paying for it until the age of 21, 22, I think now, right? Almost?
22 currently.
Yeah.
Currently is 22. Trudy will update us next year if they change it back.
If they change it.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
Basic child care. We are not a drop-off center. We're not the babysitting. We provide standard. We're not. You need a drop-off service from 2 to 5 because you got to pick up. You got to do something. We're not it. We're served. We're
No.
um, Your child is not a child anymore. They do not need a babysitter. We're working with adults and we're working with people with a great deal of independence that we have to
Mhm.
and self-advocacy, right? So
Yeah.
we're not childcare. We're not residential overnight care, right? They have starts and ends at a specific time. There are, it's so funny, me and Pilar were working for this. We're not a 24-hour service. We're not, so we call you and tell you that program ends at 3 o'clock, and you're like, well, hey, I get out of work at 5, so I'm gonna need you to keep them until 5. That doesn't work that way. There is no after school program. Or meals. A lot of programs do offer light snacks, and some offer meals. Some have grants for meals. Some work it out in their program setting, but meals are not included. There are no cafeterias, be it site-based or without walls. There are no cafeterias, so people are expected to either purchase their lunch or come with lunch. Um, yeah, I think that's it, right?
That's the basics. That's the
That's the
basics.
basics. Yeah.
Now, there might be some things that are agency specific, but transportation is not always a guarantee, depending on the site, depending on the location. They might not have the bus or the van, so they're going to tell you you need to take Access-a-Ride or provide travel training, and they might give you the fare. That's something you need to consider. This is agency specific, right? I can tell you that for HRC, we have busing for all of our, facility-based sites, but we have one site that is strictly without walls and it's only travel training. That's the only option, right? So depends on the organization. Same thing goes for meals, like Jahida was saying, and staffing levels, group sizes. These are all things that are agency specific. Typically, Dayhab is in a one staff to 4 to 5 people. That's what we like to keep it. Now, legally, it can be 6 to 7, right? But that's a lot of people with one staff. So we try not to do that. We try to keep it one staff, 4 to 5 people. Now, other locations, right, might be 2 staff to 8 people, right? It depends. You have to look into different organizations and see what their group ratio is. Okay. So before I move on, any other questions about Dayhab? Put the raise your hand. I feel like there's a lot of providers here, so I'm gonna assume. Oh, Chris, what's your question?
No, I was just saying, I'm glad I'm hearing this, and I just think, with the Dayhab program, when we do get to it, to the end part, I would just say that, all this information should be definitely, it could be added to the website, because I think this is really good. I like this very much.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So moving on, we're just gonna move right on. This is Dayhab. We went real brief, keep it simple because we're gonna have some providers talk about their specific programs, and we're gonna move into community rehabilitation. So here we go. Community Hub is another OPWDD waiver service. It is that provides personalized one-to-one training, right? Very big difference than a group setting. One-to-one training to people with developmental and intellectual disabilities, to support skill development for independent living at home and active community participation. The services are tailored to the person's life plan and are provided in non-certified settings, meaning their home, a family home, or in the community. Community Hub is designed to assist people to learn and keep skills you need to live safely and more independently, meet people, make and keep friends, take part in community events, explore interests. Services can take place in the person's home or in the community. People supported and their families usually choose the goals, which should include social skills, financial skills, community inclusion, relationship building, and there's a bit of other lists and things that are on the allowable services. Community Hub can start from childhood age, and can go through all phases of life. So that is a big difference between adult day hab, right? It's only 21 and up. Community Hub, you can start from in school age, right? The goals themselves may change of what is someone's independent living skills as a 6-year-old versus a 26-year-old, right? but you can start receiving community rehabilitation from when people are in school age. So that's why we wanted to include it in this conversation as well. Community Hub is for people who do not live in OPWDD certified or any operated home. Okay, it's very different. There is a certain different separate service, which is called residential habilitation, for people that do live in certified settings. We're going to get into the allowable services. Similar to DayHab, there's a lot of overlap, right? Independent living skills. Now, the difference here is we're going to talk about things that affect people at home, right? Not only independent living skills in the community. So we have personal hygiene, right? Cooking, cleaning, laundry, shopping, whatever chores someone might need to learn how to do at their home. Learning how to check the mail at their house, right? These are all things that might be at someone's home. And it's to teach the skills. Community integration, so mobility training, maybe just practicing walking independently, using mobility equipment might be part of the goal, right? Practicing to use their mobility equipment, navigating public transportation, exploring recreational activities, participating in activities in the community. So for example, if someone wants to participate in their, I don't know, weekly church group, the staff can accompany them to participate, and that would be the goal. Financial management, so we talked about real life goals for money, right? Recognizing money, that can start from young childhood, right? But then if we're talking about adults, we might be talking about making purchases and budgeting and how to pay my bills properly at home. Health and safety, training people to take medication independently. The person might need a reminder of a goal to take their meds, refill their medication. We don't administer the medication in Community Hub, but you are teaching someone to be independent when it comes to taking their medication. Healthcare management, meaning making medical appointments, whatever that may be for the person, and basic first aid. This also includes things like fire drills, right? Evacuation drills, practicing that at home could be done with the community house staff. Socialization and employment, developing interpersonal skills for community engagement, volunteering, and pre-vocational skills. Notice how it does not say job coaching, right? Because that is not an allowable service in Community Hub. The ComHab staff can help the person to talk about what kind of jobs they like. They can help the person go get applications in the community. They can help the person practice for the job interview. They can help them fill out the application for the job, but they cannot go with them to work and provide them with on-site job coaching. That's a different service. Clinical supports. Again, you can provide support to someone else's therapeutic goals. So if someone is receiving ABA, occupational therapy, physical therapy, the Community Hub staff should be also integrating some of those activities into their goals, right? We talked about mobility training, maybe using mobility equipment is part of it. Perhaps using a PEX board is part of their time. They need to work on practice using their assistive device. So Community Hub should foster what is happening in the therapies for each person. What's not included in Community Hub, right? Community Hub typically takes place in the home or in the person's immediate community. That can make sticking to the goals tricky, as the person and their family will all have their own rules, customs, and preferences. It's important to factor in that staff are there to work with the person supported during those times. Some organizations, and with the support of self-direction, has created the opportunity for people to select and hire their own staff. It's important to know that there are also regulations and requirements staff will need to complete, even if they are a family member or a personal friend. We are mandated, right? So anyone who becomes a hire that is hired through person, whether it's a personal hire that the agency offers or it is through self-direction, there are regulations. People must take trainings, they must certify. There's a lot of different rules. Depends again how you pursue it, if you do it independently through self-direction or if you do agency supported self-direction. There's a lot of different nuances. These are things you can look into and discuss with your care manager. Just like Day Hub, there are some no-nos that we cannot do in Community Hub. So Community Hub is not a no care only service. Services is not used to simply clean or cook meals or while the person just watches or sleeps. right? That's HHA. That's home health aid, I'm sorry, or respite, right? Family respite care. The focus is on teaching the person supported to perform the tasks themselves and not having the staff do the tasks for them. So the staff should be assisting the person to clean their room. The staff should be teaching the person to cook their dinner, right? You're going to hear that kind of language in all goal-based services. Whereas respite is not a goal-based service, and so the staff can perform the tasks for a said person, or home health aide can perform the tasks for the person. Community Hub is also not a taxi service, not a pickup and drop off. A lot of times families like to have the ComHab staff pick up the person off the bus after school, right? Yeah, agencies will do that, but there should still be some goals that they're working on when the person arrives home from school, whether that is their routine, like they have their afternoon snack, they start their homework, and then they, get ready for bed. Staff should be working on a goals and have a routine plan. It does not mean staff picks up the person from the bus and then takes them to after school. That's not ComHab, right? Community Hub is they are engaged in the activity. So it's not picking up somebody and dropping them off somewhere else. Community Hub does not take place in any certified settings. So in home, in personal homes, in their community, in their apartments, private homes, apartment buildings, or in their local community. They can be in their library, it can be at church, the park, museums. It is not supportive employment. Supportive employment is a different service, and it's therefore not permitted during Community Hub. That includes job coaching and all the allowable services under supportive employment. Now, pre-vocational and some of the support for exploration for jobs, yes, that can be part of the service, and it also depends on the level of independence for the person. If we're talking about an adult that lives independently and needs help applying for a job, then a staff can help them with that. No overlapping. We like to call this double billing, double dipping. We cannot bill for other Medicaid services during another Medicaid service. So you can't be receiving day hab and community hab at the same time, right? That's same thing goes for school or any type of occupational therapy, speech therapy, cannot be receiving them at the same time. And it's not a substitute for supervision. I know ComHab and respite get a bad rep of being babysitting. Respite, yeah, I could say respite is babysitting, right? Because it doesn't have a goal. But ComHab, you're supposed to be working on a task. Whether the person's tasks are homework or cleaning their room or getting ready for bed, that depends on the person. But it should be goal oriented. The hope is that you're teaching the person to do these skills on their own. That's it. Thank you. Simple. Done. Any questions?
I've been
Oh,
monitoring the chat. There's no questions.
hi, Rochelle.
I'm here, and of course, I have a question. It's actually of personal interest.
Okay.
It's around ComHab not being available for people and certified.
Uh-huh.
So my question is this.
Mm-hmm.
ComHab R is supposed to be, my understanding, it was developed for people who are unable to like go out to a day program for,
Yeah.
right. So what about people who don't want to attend day program 5 days a week, but would like to have a different activity like in the community, like ComHab, the other days? Is it actually explicitly prohibited? People who are able to go out in the community but are not able to go out unsupported.
So
Yeah.
usually, yeah, once you pick ComHab R,
No,
um,
not ComHab. I'm saying ComHab R is not appropriate for that person because they
No.
can go out in the community. They do go to
Right.
day program other days, but they don't want to go 5 days a week.
But they want to do
so
something on the second day, like
They
another
want to do
third.
something on, yes, on the
So then
alternate.
that person just wouldn't be receiving any services at that time. That's something that they do independently. We can, so for example, a ComHab staff or a ComHab residential staff or a day hab staff could teach someone how to get to that library that they like to go to on Thursdays by themselves, but we wouldn't be able to provide, like no one would be providing them with a service when they go to do something independent, which is their choice. They can go do that if they want to. If they want to join another group, for example, they go to like there's that group autistic adults. They want to go there and meet up with them. They want to go to another community rec center. they can do that, but it's not a service during that time.
No, I'm not talking about people who are able to
Uh-huh.
go about independently. I'm talking
Mhm.
about the individual who otherwise would qualify for a site-based day hab,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to go to a site-based day hab every day. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about trying to have more person-centered services,
Mm-hmm.
more customized scheduling for people.
Yeah.
So why would it be inappropriate for that person to have ComHab on a day they don't go?
So,
So the residential staff should be,
no. So
No.
I think I know Rochelle's question.
yeah.
Sorry. And so so the ComHab R um is usually used as a service for people who are either too medically or too behaviorally involved that traditional even without walls will not work for them. Um and then once you opt into that program, there's an entire process of getting the approval and everything done. I I understand your question. Like in theory, they should be able to, but
Mhm.
in reality, once you opt into the ComHab R, the dehabilitation service gets dropped out because you're saying that this person has met the
Right.
kind of
Okay.
like the regulation definition of what ComHab R is the only service that meets their
Mm-hmm.
needs.
Okay, so I'm
Um,
going to tell you a secret, which is
Go
that
ahead.
my son actually gets traditional ComHab one day a week and goes to his site-based day hab the other days. And it was
Interesting.
approved by the DDRO.
And he lives
He lives in a certified residence.
right.
Yeah.
I think it just has to be on a case by case basis. And I don't know the service, they haven't told us what that service is, like as providers, like, how to do it. I don't think they've told us how to do it. So if people get it, I think it might be, I think it's great, but I think
I
they
think it's
haven't,
great too.
yeah, I think they just haven't told us as providers, like how that works.
I
Like,
think more people
yeah.
should have that option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also
I
think if
haven't
for
met
people
somebody that
who
was getting a
have
blend
like
like that. Yeah.
self-direction as well, they can, because then they break it down by the day. They break it down by like you're going 2 days here, the hours go here. When it's like provider, I, unfortunately, us as providers are not up to speed with, I think, the regulations that OPWDD gives us. And I think is because we might want to be, or we just don't have the mechanisms just yet to like really put that all the way through for stuff like that, like the hybrid schedules. I know, for example, at HRC, we've been really addressing hybrid schedules and how does that look for people, and
Mhm.
it's coming, but I think like it's as always, it's coming a long time.
But this is helpful, and I think,
Yeah,
as family members, we can push from the other side because
agreed.
I'm happy my son has it, but I really don't know
Yeah,
other people who would like to have this and benefit from it.
yeah. um yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I agree. Chris, go ahead.
Just to back up what Rochelle's saying also, and I've seen this for many years. What I'm seeing is there are some agencies, and I'll say priority, and it's some not just one agency, but there's a lot that I see that they will sit down with the families. If the family, and I'm going to say this, if the families are taking it seriously, some don't, some do. And I agree with you, Rochelle, because the question is always asked, what does the individual want? What does the individual feels comfortable? Because what you see at a lot of these day habs is some of them one day likes to do art, one day they want to do listen to music or go on the computer or learn something that they want to have some a learning easy skill. Sometimes you definitely see them at the library because I know Carrie and Laura can vouch with me because we do see them there, and they're actually happy because they're actually not just reading a book, but also looking at some of the library history in the buildings. Or sometimes you do see them at museums. The question is a lot of the families we do ask them, what does the individual want? What do they feel comfortable? And, and that's where imagine comes in sometimes So we just need to do a lot of things of encouraging the families on both ends to ask them, what does the individual want? And that's where I'm gonna just go from there. And I agree with Rochelle what she's saying. And I do hear an echo.
Well, thank you, Rochelle, as always, for your input. I think you can help families answer that question. Go
And
ahead, Jennifer.
And you're welcome. This is Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm new here. I'm from New Spark.
Hi.
Hi, Pilar. Rachel, I was just wondering, has your son had ComHab for a long time with this agency?
Yeah, well, definition of long time, I don't know. It's been about 2 years.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I worked in care management before I was at New Spark, and I know that we had to complete essentially an evaluation form for anybody who was in a certified setting who wanted ComHab R, and the DDRO wouldn't approve straight ComHab that wasn't ComHab R. Basically for all the care managers, we were told you had to go for ComHab R if somebody lived in a certified setting. So I'm actually surprised to know that your son was approved for regular ComHab.
Yeah, with no particular, advocacy
Yeah.
involved. It was just the start went in and it was approved, and that was that. So I don't know
Maybe
if somebody
because the agency was willing to do it and it's the same agency and they were just like, it's no big deal. I don't know. Like it could be a
maybe,
couple.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
But you're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially if a lot of these residential settings are not equipped with the staff that can go out with the person during the day. And that's why they usually send people 2-day program. So, it does make a lot of sense. So, maybe Jennifer, us at New Spark, we can get a handle on that. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm opening up Pandora's box, but
I've just
Yeah,
gotten
maybe.
lucky.
Maybe you got lucky. So without further ado, I want to give our guest speakers, our guest provider speakers, the opportunity to speak and share about their programs. So first we have Lindsay. Is Lindsay still with us? I'm barely
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you allow me to share my screen?
Yes, I can. I'm gonna make you a co-host. Uh-huh. And you should be able to share.
Yep, I
Oh,
think
go ahead.
so. Okay, hopefully everyone can see my screen. So, hello, I'm Lindsay. I'm the outreach and marketing specialist for Goodwill. So here at Goodwill, we offer a variety of services. But today we're focusing on our Day Hab Without Walls. So most of our programs have a focus on gaining employment and independence. They are designed for individuals who have OPWDD waiver services, and we provide services that support the participant in achieving their goals and hopefully career goals. So here at Goodwill, our philosophy is that everyone has the right to explore independence in employment. Our role is to support individuals in achieving goals that are meaningful to them, helping them live their most independent and fulfilling life. We are committed to ensuring that all of our service and programs are person-centered, focusing on each individual's unique strengths and interests. So right now we are focusing on our Brooklyn possibilities, which is a blend of community-based pre-voc and day hab without walls. Our day hab without walls does run 5 days a week, so we do have certain individuals that are just doing day hab without walls. These services support individuals in developing stronger social and communication skills, while also giving them opportunities to explore employment through internships, volunteer work, and work readiness. Like I said, currently in Brooklyn, the program operates with 5 days of day hab without walls, and then we do 2 days of community-based pre-voc, which is Wednesdays and Thursdays. These are a list of our Brooklyn Possibilities volunteer sites. So we have Big and Small LIU, where they do janitorial, Old Navy, the Communication Project Food Pantry, Campaign Against Hunger, which is also a food pantry, and then City Harvest. We also have a partnership with CVS, which gives participants interested in retail work the chance to train in mock CVS store in Manhattan. This is a 16-week hands-on training program where participants gain real-world experience in a supportive setting. And then if the person graduates from this cohort, they can apply to a CVS that is hiring, hopefully close by to where they live. And we've had many of our individuals who are hired part of this cohort. Currently, this cohort is working with our Harlem Possibilities and our Project Discovery Astoria. Finally, the last part of our program is our enrollment process. So for our programs, we begin with a tour, which is usually like 30 to 45 minutes. And then after the tour, we do a 10-day trial. During the 10-day trial, they'll participate in the groups, go to the volunteer sites and see if it's a good fit for them. And then after the trial, we do hold a person-centered plan meeting. This is where they're going to discuss the person, get to know them a little bit more, and then see what kind of goals they're going to work for. And then I'm Lindsay. I put my information in the chat, but here's all of my information. If you have any questions or want to schedule a tour, please reach out to me. And that is all. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Brooklyn Possibilities. I like the name.
Thank you.
If you could also, I don't know, somehow, maybe Jillian has the presentation. Maybe she can download it and we can share it through the council.
And I made it much shorter, so I think I'm probably able to share it now. So
Okay,
I can
great.
email it to you. Yeah.
All right. Either way, it's on the recording, but
Yeah.
just in case, I like to share it after.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. So thank you for Goodwill. Next up.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there any way I can go next? I have a streaker and my son. I don't know if everyone can
Oh,
know.
girl, I thought you
Yes,
were talking about a real,
That's
like,
who you hear in the background. We
it's
are
okay.
potty training. My son has autism level 3 nonverbal, and we have recently started smearing our feces. So yeah,
It's okay. Go ahead.
yes. So
ahead,
I have a flyer somewhere. Can't find it right now, but I know my program.
Okay, go ahead.
So good evening, everyone. My name and my charger has teeth marks in it, so it's not charging right now. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Thorpe. I am the coordinator of intake and training at Everyone New York, which was formerly Heaven's Hands Community Services. If we're speaking specifically for Brooklyn, we have 2-day programs for Brooklyn. One is located where Pilar will be in Sunset, and I believe on the same floor, literally around the corner. And
Yes.
our other program is located on East 98th Street between Kings Highway and Winthrop. And we do have a Without Walls that I am working with Brian to try to get off the ground. But as anybody who knows, starting a Without Walls program is not the easiest, being that you have to make sure you have staff, let me rephrase that, experienced staff to work in Without Walls. That's one of the criteria that I'm requesting, not someone brand new into the field, because we need to be able to know that you can handle yourself and any situations that may occur out in the world, as well as keeping the individual safe and calm if anything was to happen, and to have quality locations to take our individuals or the people that we serve so they can do quality activities, learn a skill base, something other than going to Target and walking around aimlessly. And I'm saying that because I have worked for programs that has done that, or you just show up at a location. But those are our 2 programs that we have in Brooklyn, which are both site-based. We do have ComHab as well in Brooklyn. I do like to let families know that when it comes to staffing ComHab, we do turn to you first. The reason why is if you have a loved one, a good friend, your pastor, whomever that your son, daughter, loved one loves, they work well with this person. We are willing. Amari, 1 second, please. We are willing to work with them. We are willing to train them so that they can work with your loved one. I like to let people know that with ComHab, we are meeting your loved one where they are. So if they would like to learn to wash their clothes and they already know how to separate their clothes, maybe it's just putting Thank you. Maybe it's just putting the clothes into the laundry. Maybe it's taking them walking with them to the store to get laundry detergent, or helping them learn their community to get to the laundromat. That's what community habilitation is about, learning your community. So your community can be in your home. I used to work with a lady because I did Comhab that could probably cook everything but a turkey in the microwave. And this is back when people used to go to the library and get books. And we got a book on cooking in the microwave, which I at first thought was, Lord, this is not going to work. But it did. We had the gas turned off in her apartment just in case, and she fixed everything in the microwave. And I was readily surprised, but it worked for her. So to me, ComHab is essential in, again, meeting that person where they are and working with them in the best of their capabilities to get to where they need to be. As most of you know, my CEO, my supervisor, Brian, oversees the council. So if you see him, you see us. I wish I had more time, but I have to go clean floors now. And
It's okay. Bye,
please,
Amari.
everyone, keep me in your prayers.
Bye, Amari.
Amari, everyone says bye.
Bye.
Okay, he's gone now.
Yeah.
Everyone have a great evening. And
Thanks,
thank you.
Erica.
No
You-
problem,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Erica.
Okay. Karen, are you with us? I cannot see. So if you need me to make you co-host, I saw her here before. Okay. Maybe she got kicked off. We had Karen from Adapt Network to talk about her programs. While maybe we give her a moment to log back on. Jahida, do you want to talk about anything that SUS is doing for your day services? And then
Yeah,
me and Trudy can also talk about Birch and AHRC. So
yeah,
go ahead.
sure.
Not Trudy,
So,
Marjorie. Sorry. Go ahead.
Marjorie. So, rehabilitation, I think it's one of those things that offer you the opportunity to be really, really creative, and you could get as creative as your staff and you are willing to engage in. So for SUS, we focus a great deal. Our rehabilitation programs are really, you know, focus a great deal on supporting and creating opportunities for people solely based on their interest. Bye, hi, Dad. Bye, honey. Sorry. Hi. Okay, so baby, okay. Sorry. Um, bye, honey. Have a good evening. So, for instance, SUS has a very large division that we work interagency with our veterans, our clubhouse, our supported housing programs on our urban farming. So we have urban agriculture. So we have rooftop gardens, in many of our buildings. We have bees, we have rice paddies, we have hoop houses, greenhouses, and we do a lot of work with our urban farming and our urban food security kind of programs and our rehabilitation programs. For instance, one of the great reasons that creativity is such a great thing in rehabilitation is because of this. Um, our day habs manage and are the stewards for 6 of our community fridges in directly in our community, where we give out about 500,000 pounds of food throughout the year, through our food community fridges and other kind of community food security based programming. We have adaptive ice skating, we have adaptive roller skating, we do adaptive swimming. All these kind of different activities all fall within rehabilitation, which is one of those great things that we're able to be very creative with. They have to be as exciting or as boring as you make it. So here at SUS, and I think for everyone, my sister agencies that I've been to, we take the exciting path. It's a lot more interesting and it's a lot more fun. Um, we have programs in the 4 boroughs because we're not on Staten Island, and we have site-based and without walls. And again, I'm a very big um, I believe site-based is a necessary program because everyone sometimes needs a place to go, and But our site-based program and our Without Walls program, sometimes if you're not looking carefully or very closely, you can't tell the difference in a positive way, because our site-based programs spend about 70 to 80% of their time directly in the community, whereas our Without Walls spend 90 to 95% of their time in the community. So we our community engagement is really, really high, and we really push the envelope. I'm trying to do rock climbing this summer. So yeah, so again, day hab could be as fun or as boring as you want it to be. Um,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
So anyone, if you're interested in coming to check us out and hang out with some bees and some flowers and some trees, as I like to say it, you're more than welcome to reach out to me.
Cool. It doesn't look like Miss Karen came back on, so I'm gonna plug AHRC for a little bit, maybe for the last time. But AHRC, as many of you know, is a very large organization, and we have day habilitation services in all 5 boroughs. We have site-based programming and without walls programming, similar to what Jahida was mentioning. You may not know, given the person site where they go, if they're in with walls, without walls. To us, you're in Dayhab and you want to participate in something and you're able to participate in something, we're going to make it happen. So we have people that are often exploring plenty of things. I want to just highlight two specific, or I'm sorry, 3 specific initiatives that we have. First, my favorite program of all time at HRC is Brooklyn Transitions. My former program, it is a day habilitation without walls. It's employment focused. It is for young adults and individuals who are on the track to employment, need to work on those soft skills. It's faster paced. We have Monday through Friday employment related activities. Of course, we have a balance where they can do other things that are not employment related, but the concept is that within a year, we should be talking about formal employment services, if not formal employment. So we can provide supportive employment through our employment department, supportive employment department. Successfully, I would say 50% of that program was employed when I left the program. And they continue to go to the day hub when they're not working. So they get work-life balance, and it provides a really great atmosphere. That group goes everywhere, all 5 boroughs. They don't care all day long. They show up 365. If we were closed, if we were open, they would come if we weren't. So I love that program. And like Jahida said, it's as fun as you make it. We've done some really amazing things in that program. Um, there are comparable in other boroughs, but of course, that's mine. That's the one I know. That's the one I'm going to plug. But our site-based programs, HRC has 7 total. That day habs in Brooklyn. The transitions is the employment focus that does not provide any transportation. It's without walls. And then we have our other locations, which is Canarsie, Flatbush, Kings Highway program, which is like New Utrecht, Gravesend. We have Sheepshead Bay, Bushwick, and one more in downtown Brooklyn. Those offer site-based programming or without walls, depending on the person's preference. But either way, you can be out in the community as much as you want, and it is encouraged. So most groups are out in the community majority of the day. Then, in addition to that, our day programs have a few other initiatives that are offered through day services. Number one, we've talked about this maybe in kind of different levels, but we also can arrange for a presentation from them. HRC has a college experience program called the Melissa Riggio program. It is a day hub without walls that exists on college campuses throughout the city. So people are getting the opportunity to take college courses, have peers on college campuses, take classes, speak to professors. It's not a matriculated degree program just yet. However, it is the groundwork to support someone if they want to get into more academic and further their education, they can then get support from the Melissa Riggio program to apply for a matriculated degree. It's through CUNY Unlimited, so they do get some credits there. It's a really great program. It's also employment focused. So if people want to then use their studies to work in customer service usually, or office settings, advocacy work are a lot of the Melissa Riggio's grads kind of post graduation where they go to work. Second, we have AHRC Our Broadway. Our Broadway performs shows throughout the year, all year round at the Jerry Orbach Theater in Manhattan, and now recently, I think it's Atlantic Theater in Brooklyn. I'm not exactly sure which the name of it, but it's in downtown Brooklyn, I believe the location is, and they put on Broadway plays with people supported by HRC, including Broadway staff. It's head off by Dale Hensley, who's worked with HRC for many years, and he is a former and current Broadway performer. They have dancers, they have singers, they have costume design, and they put on great shows. I've seen a few: Lion King, Guys and Gals, Aladdin. They do some of the real classics, Broadway. And people really love them, and they're open to the public. If anybody wants to go, we share our flyers. And lastly, AHRC has, well, I shouldn't say lastly, we have many initiatives, but these are the only ones I'm going to talk about today, is the RTech, ARTECH, which is a collective for artists, specifically artists of people that have developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities. It exists now in Manhattan was primarily, but now it's also expanding into Brooklyn at a number of our DayHab sites. Artists will get to go into studio space in designated programs. I know one of our locations in downtown Brooklyn is changing, I think, a whole floor into studio space. Art is very important to those that we support. And these collective of artists get to get their materials. They can develop their own portfolios. They give art shows. Their work has been at exhibits all over the city. And we have one of AHRC's very own artists has his work up in MoMA in New York. Oh, Carrie, did you get to go to the downtown Brooklyn? So there you go, downtown Brooklyn, new art studio at our Brooklyn Day Hab. I wasn't sure if it was done yet, but yes, art studio. We have them in Queens. Also, we have one in the Bronx. Art Tech started, I believe. Actually, I'm incorrect. Art Tech started in the Bronx, and now it's in Queens, Manhattan, and Brooklyn. So we've expanded, and people often buy their art. So they sell their artwork throughout the city. You will see them at the other art fair, affordable art fair, and in museums throughout New York. So those are just some really cool initiatives. SUS, Goodwill, all of us, we often work together to try to create other initiatives. And DayHab, believe it or not, is probably the most common place where those things happen, because you get to be the most fun. And DayHab is my yes, that is correct. RTech, ARTECH, RTech. That's the correct acronym. I love Dayhab. It's my favorite place. So I'm actually very excited to go back to Dayhab. And we'll see. Maybe Jahida and I can collab with our new day programs, as well as with Heaven's Hands. I'm sorry, not Heaven's Hands. Everyone New York, which is in the same building, which is next door to New Spark. So we'll be together, and we'll collab with our two groups that do already, I think, interact often, the two groups. So I think that's it. I think Ms. Liebman had to go. So I don't have any more presentations part. Any questions? Anyone? Other than I'm gonna put the link to our tech, or maybe I'll just share my screen. Here we go. Where is my screen? Since we're all here, we can see it together. Shares. Here we go. So this is our tech. This is on the HRC website. We have a number of artists, different styles, different mediums. As you can see, we have graffiti, we have clay, we have paint, self-portrait. They have their own Instagram. There's many different artists. These are just some of the artists. Anyone that wants to be in RTech can participate. There's no application process or anything like that. The only rule is you must be enrolled in HRC rehabilitation to participate. So these are some of our artists. We have someone, Thomas. I love this person, Thomas's art. He makes all these little figurines. He can make figurines of people. People commission him to make figurines. I love his stuff. Every time I go to Kings Highway, I love to look at it. We have some very talented artists. And yeah, so that's just a look at our tech. Check them out on Instagram. They're there. They have YouTube. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions, guys? I will respect everyone's time. I know it's already after 5. So if we don't have any major questions.
I have a question. Maybe I should know the answer, but I don't.
It's okay.
Okay, so if a participant has self-direction, are we able to apply for ComHab? And then another question is, for ComHab, does the money come out of the budget? Does it stay the same as before, or
No.
okay?
Yeah. So yes, Community Hub can be purchased through self-direction. There's 2 choices. You can do provider purchase, or you can do it individual, where the family, hires the staff, make sure the staff is trained, make sure they do all the requirements. And sometimes people pay the staff. They also pay the staff, and sometimes they pay the staff more than what, agencies pay. So it's an option. So definitely the budget is going to change either way. If you do provider purchase, you're buying it through an agency. They hire the staff, train the staff, they deal with all those other logistics and such. So it really depends on what the person prefers. Trudy, did you have any other notes on that?
Yeah, and it's important to let your support broker know if that's, you're interested, because then your support broker will help you adjust the budget for ComHab, whether it's purchase or individual.
So the money will come out of the money that was already given to him. So if the amount
Correct.
is, so I will have to, like, if right now, the budget that I have right now, whatever money I want for ComHab, I have to take it out of another section to put it in for ComHab. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or
Yes.
or they're going to request more money, but I guess it depends on the person's age. The budget can change, but yeah, usually you got to move around. The broker has to help you move things around.
Yeah, and the broker will, depend on the age too. The broker will ask if, to utilize your self-direction budget for community rehabilitation. You just don't have self-direction and you have the budget without utilizing it. So community rehabilitation is one way to utilize correctly your self-direction budget.
Go ahead, Rochelle.
And just on self-direction, if you are going to request a budget amendment, it was just OPW just announced at a meeting last week that to accompany a budget amendment, you now need to have a current CAS assessment within the last 2
Right.
years. That's new.
Yeah, I did hear
That's
that.
new. That's more work. Okay.
The CAS assessment is also same for really, I think, any services now. Like if you're requesting new services and your CAS assessment was not done recently, any new service, I think, right, Rochelle? It's not
Right,
just.
That is correct.
It did not used to apply to self-direction.
Okay,
It
got
only
it.
provided to provider-based services, and now they've extended it to also apply to amendments to
Okay.
the self-direction
She's
budget.
correct. And
That's good to know. Thank you.
she's correct because we did have that meeting on the 9th, which we had a lot of attendance on that. So we're trying to get them to come back in May. I will have that information when it comes available because in virtual land, not in person.
Thank you, Chris.
No.
Miss Elizabeth, did that help answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to any of us, our chair members or committee chairs or committee members. We can always answer these questions. The great Christopher Greif, he can answer any question. We can, provide supports. Rochelle's laughing.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying also your care
Yeah.
manager is supposed to
Yeah, care manager,
support
they
you
should know. Yeah.
to anything you don't understand because it can be
Mhm.
very confusing.
Mhm.
You should talk to your care manager and they can find out. If they don't know the answer, they can find out the answer for you.
Correct. Okay. I would rather give everyone back their St. Patrick's Day.
You got plans? Full on.
I definitely I need a drink today, so I might go have a green beer today. It's been a long day.
Uh-huh.
So thank you all as always. My co-chairs, we're gonna discuss April. We gotta figure that out. If anyone in the chat here has an idea for April and you need a presentation, maybe we can just have a presenter for April and not a full topic. Let me know, reach out to me individually. Because I know Miss Trudy's gonna be traveling. I got a lot going on in April. So we might not have an April. I don't know yet. And with that, I'm gonna stop the recording.